cracking, everybody? Just ordered some food and got a little bit of time, so I figured I'd do another video. First thing I want to do is I want to shout out Big Luis Giron. Yeah, I played with Sauce. He told me you called and asked. That was a funny story. But anyways, so I told you guys a story about Tank and CYA, right? And so now this story is gonna kind of be like a flip side to the Tank story. It's another CYA story. I'm not gonna say the dude's name, but so I was with this dude, right? He's from San Pedro, and we were in the reception center together in Norwalk, Southern Reception Center, right? He was cool, and then from there, I left Chupaso, and then he came after me, right? And I remember sitting in the day room, and behind me, I heard somebody say, "Man, fuck your barrio and your dead homeboys," right? And that's major, right? CYA shit, right? So boom, like, hey, it was like you could hear everybody's head turn, right? And I look, and it was old boy from San Pedro, right? And that fool didn't bust a grape, right? So I knew, like, I was new to CYA also, but I knew, like, that's gonna be all bad for this vato once he leaves fucking, because we were in the fish tank, right? We were in the Royal fish tank. Royal had just opened. And so when we went well, right after that, before we right after that, probably the day or two later, they had a movement, like, you know, they have different movements, and we went to the soccer field, right? A group of us went, and I remember I was sitting in the bleachers, right? And, you know, that's the only time I ever played that, you know, they played that 805, 213, 818, all that, 714, all the different area code shit. So I was chilling with the homies from you know, 805, and it was mainly a lot of autos from Bakers. Shout out to Bakers. And right to the left of us, about 15 feet down, there was a huge crowd, and it was the homie from Wilmas that had disrespected the dude from San Pedro was right there. And he had a bunch of dudes with him, and he wasn't letting off on no boy. I apologize for the camera. I'm sitting in my car holding it on my steering wheel. But next thing you know, the homie from Wilmas disrespects San Pedro. He yells it out, right? And I look, and that vato that I was in Norwalk with and that got disrespected a day or two before is sitting on a bench in the field, right? Like, not far from the bleachers. And so when this vato yelled out to disrespect him, he didn't do shit again, right? And it became like put it like this, it was about 15 dudes with the homie from Wilmas. That was my buddy right there from Wilmas. And what he didn't know and what they didn't know is the way you disrespect San Pedro is almost exactly the way you disrespect Santa Bruta, right? It's like you add from, instead of San, it's Santa, and then the second word to dis Pedro is the same as to disrespect Bruta, right? So when this vato's yelling it, I'm like, oh man. And when the crowd started yelling it, I'm starting to get fired up. And there was a homie from Colonia Chicas with them. And, you know, us in Colonia, we've always been like, it's hit and miss with us, right? And me and this dude wound up becoming like this. But at the time, we had already chunked him, right? And so he's in that crowd and he's saying it. So now I'm feeling offended. None of it's directed to me, right? So the homies from Baker's are like, what's up? Because they seen I was getting mad. And I was like, man, fuck this, eh? So I jumped off the bleachers and I head over to that dude from San Pedro. I sit down next to him on the bench. And I said, hey, homie, you're going to have to do something about this. And he's like, nah, homies, fuck them vatos and this and that. And I was like, listen, what they're saying is disrespecting me also, homie. So what we need to do right now is me and you are going to get up and we're going to run in them bleachers and we're just going to throw hands at everybody in that fucking crowd, homies. My homeboys over here are going to jump in. But you need to get your ass up and let's go right now. Fuck this disrespect shit. And the vato fucking just ate cheese, eh? He just like, hey, homie, I'm not even tripping. And I was like, fuck you then, right? So I walked off and everybody was just like, it was all bad for the cat. You know, obviously he wanted to fall in love on. He had no support from nobody. I was never in the same dorm with him, same compa, but I'm sure he had a very rough time over there. I heard stories, but like I said, I'm not going to get into all that. Now, here's the thing. One thing about YA was vatos that got dropped Levan, like in Alice and Paso, where they played the most games, when they would go to YTS was ran more like the joint, right? You had a lot of cats that had done time in the joint and then would be done with their prison time and get sent back to YTS. So I'm in YTS, right? And guess who I see? I see old boy from San Pedro. But now he's like, he's not Levan no more. And he's like, he's a fool. He's rushing all kinds of dudes. And, you know, it was weird, eh? Like, I saw him. Well, first of all, the homie from Weedmas worked in the barbershop and used to cut my hair, and he told me, hey, remember so-and-so, that fucking pussy? And I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah, he's a banger now. He's hard, homie. He goes, I'm waiting to catch him. All you got to do is come in here for his fucking haircut. I'm going to get him. And I was like, serio? He said, yeah. And the dude, like, everybody knew about him. He had hands, right? Like, it was a trip. And, I run into him, right? And he's like, hey, what's up, homie, this and that. And he's like, yeah, that fucking pussy, so-and-so, the homie from Weedmas, right? And I was like, how was he a pussy, though, fool? Like, I try to ride with you, and you peed on yourself, homeboy. Like, that vato ain't no pussy. All you got to do is go to the barbershop, and he's like, watch, I'm going to get him this. And it was weird. It was like he was a late bloomer. I don't know why he had fear in him in Paso, but he got that something in him, jump-started him, and got to YTS where, you know, it's more like the joint than YA. It's more like, I don't know, man, but the sad thing is, like I said, homeboy got a late start, right? And he was fucking dudes up, and I guess it went to his head. And as soon as he paroled, he was murdered. You know, had he been that, you know, had he stayed on that same, you know, whatever caused him to be the way he was in Paso, that would have kept him alive. But this cat was trying to outdo himself in YTS and make up for what he had done in Paso, and got it in his head that he was all that. And my bad, guys. There's a tweaker right here fucking with some women. Anyways, yeah, that's the story, man. I'm gonna end it here, man. I'm gonna get out of the car. I don't know what's going on. I was cracking, everybody. Quick update. I recorded that video, this video that I'm putting out. I recorded that about maybe about a week ago, right? I don't know. I'm gonna put it out. I felt like I didn't get to really get into the point I was trying to make because of the individual that was outside of the car, right? Before I even go further, I want to shout out the newest member to the channel, For Real P. Appreciate your support. Anybody that wants to support the channel through a membership, I'll put the link in the description. But first thing after that I want to talk about is I was thrown off. You guys saw at the end of the video I was thrown off. I saw the dude outside, and you know, it turned out he was a harmless dude. He was just hungry, you know. And so when I got out, you know, I approached him, you know, which any man would do, right? When you feel a woman is being accosted by somebody, you know, and I approached him, say what's going on, you know. He left everybody alone, and he was just, you know, he's not all there, man. And I asked him if he was hungry, and he said, yeah. And I told him, hey, I'm gonna get you something to eat. And it was a trip because when I went into the restaurant, I said, hey, I'd like to buy this guy something to eat. And they said, well, he's actually here because somebody had bought him something to eat the other day, but he had left before we could give it to him, so we'll take care of it. And I'm glad that I have the patience, you know, because there's some people that could have jumped out the car and just lit him up, you know, because of the way it looked. But it wasn't what it looked like, you know. Anyways, now I'm getting back to the video before I end and post this video. Like I said, old boy from San Pedro, you know, he the way he did his time in Paso was not he you know, being from a barrio, he was living as his mindset was that of a civilian, you could say, right? Which it doesn't fit in that violent environment, you know. And then when he got out and probably got disciplined for it, because he had homeboys in Paso that seen him, and that made him feel like he had to go above and beyond. He had to prove to everybody that he wasn't a coward, he wasn't scared, and he was really with the business, you know. And so when he came back to Paso, to YTS, he did whatever he did. And then when he got out, you know, like I've said before, most of the dudes, I would say it's at least 80% of the dudes that I was in YA with, when they got out, within 6 months, they were either fighting a fucking murder case or they were dead. And homie from San Pedro, he didn't go to jail. You know, he died. He was killed. And what I didn't mention is the homie from Wilmas was also killed. You know, and I've said it before. YA, during my generation, I know for a fact generations before me, I can't speak to the generations after me that went to YA. I don't know how it had changed, but YA created killers, you know. It created monsters. It made people either kill or get put in positions where somebody was gonna die, and it was gonna be them or somebody else. But just wanted to let you guys know, fill in that little part about the homie from Wilmas also not surviving much longer after paroling, and let you guys know that regardless of how it looked, the way the video ended, me getting out of the car to go check on the situation, everything was good. Everybody was safe, and we all had a good meal. All right, man. You guys have a blessed new year. Let's hope this year is better than any other year we've ever had, man, because we need it, right? All right, man. I'm out.